Hello my friends, my name is Tom here with weaponseducation.com, and as you follow the channel, you know I've been a 10mm buff since 2011, since the channel started. And I started being a 10mm buff. A little history on me was when I got my first gun, this Colt Delta Elite. Please zoom in on this, and we're going to talk about the reasons on why you should get a 10mm. Okay, this Colt Delta Elite, I walked into the store and I saw this, you know, the buffed out, the chrome finish, this gorgeous, and I said, that's me. But I said, I want the highest caliber semi-automatic made. He goes, well, you're looking at it. I go, oh, even better. So here's my first gun, my Colt Delta Elite, still in production today. Now we're going to talk about reasons why you guys want a 10mm. Is it for hunting? Sure. It'll take down pretty much everything in North America. And I like the controversy we're going to get on this video in the comments, because I always say this: the 10mm is pretty much equal to a .357 Magnum, depending on the ammunition you use. We'll get into ammo in a moment. People say, no, it's like a .40 caliber, blah, 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 blah. The 10mm, if you use the right ammo, is the most powerful semi-automatic you can carry. I'm not talking about 50 AEs and the those type of vanity guns. I'm talking about production guns. And yes, when I went to SHOT Show in 2011 and told exhibition booth, I don't even want to call them a booth, because they're as huge as a mall store when you go to SHOT Show. And when you walk into SIG and you walk into Smith & Wesson, which they now have a 10mm, and you walk into Springfield, I mean, you're walking into a mall store. It's huge. Hey, where's your 10mm? Where's your 10mm? None of them had them in 2011. And I heckled them and heckled them and heckled them year after year after year. And sure enough, I can't take all the credit, of course, but we see a lot of 10mm out there now. Now here's the reasons why, and I've got, I think, about 7 or 8 guns here. I own about, in my collection, don't try to copy me, I have maybe 20, 25 10mm. And I'm going to tell you at the end of the video, you got to wait, which has been my favorite 10mm lately to carry. So, it caught on. It caught on. And they told me, the manufacturers told me the videos I did worked. And they started producing 10mm. Now, the 10mm round is a longer .40 caliber, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with a .40 caliber. That's a separate video. You just need a good enough gun to carry it, to hold the big bang, to control the big bang of the .40. Imagine a 10mm. Yes, you need a quality gun if you're using real 10mm ammo. The real 10mm ammo is double tap. You got Underwood, you got Buffalo Bore, nothing wrong with those. But my heart goes with double tap, and these boxes, heck, these go back to the 80s. They don't, you can't see these boxes online no more. This is proof. Okay, here is you ballistics guys, 180 grains, and for you new gun owners, that's the weight of the actual bullet. Obviously, the less weight, the faster it'll go. 180 grains at 1,350 feet per second. That is flying fast. That's buzzing. And the way I explain it to a friend who doesn't know nothing about guns, I say, take a baseball and just blob it against a piece of plywood. No damage. Take a professional Major League Baseball pitcher and have him throw it at 100 miles an hour against that same piece of plywood. And what's going to happen? He's going to put a massive dent in it. Depending on the plywood, he might go through it. If it's drywall, he'll go right through it. It's the speed, the kinetic energy. And which brings us to why you want a 10 millimeter is because, you know the saying, the more power to you, it's a pun, the more power to you, it's a metaphor. Well, now, the real thing is, you want the more power in your pistol. I'm going to tell you another little quick story here. I'm just not looking at the clock, enjoying myself, having fun with my audience, and telling you what I feel about the 10 millimeter. Yes, the enemy's going to be wearing these. And they're going to be thinking that it's up to a 44 Magnum, which is more powerful than a 10 millimeter. Okay. Have you seen Clay Test on soft body armor? I have. The real deal. I happen to have one lung because I had crashed my motocross bike too. You know what happened? And I'm a pro rider. I crashed. I felt my ribs bruised. Not too bad. And I rode for 2 more hours thinking there's just fractured ribs or bruised ribs. Woke up 4 in the morning. Well, these are broken ribs. And doofus me, what did I do? I waited 4 days. And then I waited 3 more weeks when I finally got home from North Forest and to find out I had internal damage to my organs. The point is, when a high-powered Magnum round hits soft body armor that claims to go up to a 44 Magnum, and I've seen it against Clay Test, it's going to go in 3-4 inches. It's going to cause organ damage. It's going to take out your opponent. So, the goal is, in today's new world of, let's just say, craziness, I think you should have at least one 10 millimeter for personal carry. For hunting, here, okay, let me see the comments on this. Can a 10 millimeter take out a grizzly bear? Well, if you can shoot the grizzly bear right in the head, yes. If you can't, you better have a 500 Magnum. But we're not up against warfare with grizzly bears, are we? For the most part. And if I was going into grizzly bear forest, I'd have my 500 Magnum or my big rifles. So, let's get into the guns. And I'm not thinking about the time clock. If I go on too long, so be it. First of all, let's talk about ammo real quick. I mentioned the speed, okay? And double tap being the highest quality 10 millimeter. I know Buffalo Bore's good. I know Underwood's good. But double tap's the original designers of really high producing 10 millimeter rounds. Okay, now Armscorp. I've got zillions of these, luckily. But this is range ammo. When people say, oh, you're just shooting 40 calibers out of your gun, you're kind of talking about stuff like Armscorp, which is fine. It's great for practice. And by the way, I've never heard someone tell me that a 40 caliber can't take down your opponent. It's a massive round, 40 caliber. With that said, think about, I recently was at a gun training facility. And you know how they have those steel plates that spin in a circle? And they've got 5 of them on a bar? and you hit the first one and it spins, and the second one and it spins, and the third, fourth, fifth. Okay, well, the guy on my left, my friendly competitor, had a 9mm. Nothing wrong with 9mm. I love them. I've got as many of all of you got. I'm a big collector of 9mm. 10mm. Okay, I'm next to him with my 10. And he's going, the goal was to get all of the 5 circles around the whole bar and get to the bottom in the quickest time. So what did I do? I pulled out my new Springfield, which is my baby now, XD 10mm. This is 4.5 inch. For some reason the website's showing only 3.8s now. I don't know what's going on there. I pulled out my 10mm, and you know what? You know what my opponent had to do? He had to hit the steel circle 4 or 5 times to get it to go in one circle. Me, with cheapo range ammo, 40 caliber quality, circle, boom, one hit, easy to hit, 60 feet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I win because it goes whoop, 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 whoop in a circle. 9mm goes whoop, whoop, whoop. You gotta keep hitting it. Whoop, 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 whoop. So, you need a 10mm because in modern day warfare, we're up against people with body armor. And like I said, that concussion is going to hurt their internal organs. I don't care what you say, it's going to damage their internal organs. I know firsthand, just from hitting the dirt on a dirt bike, what happens to your internal organs. I couldn't fathom, even with body armor, having a 10mm hit me in my heart. Will it stop? Everything else. You got your pancreas here, you got your liver here, you got your lungs, everything. So, let's look at the guns on the table. And I mentioned double tap. Oh, and here's the speeds, the double tap speeds. Okay, 125 grains at 1,600 feet per second. 180, 1,350. Bigger the bullet, it's gonna not go as fast. That's still so fast. Remember what I said about that guy throwing that baseball against something? If he's throwing it against balsa wood, it's going to bounce off, and if he's going to hit it with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, it's going to go right through it. The same baseball. Well, we're talking about speed. Speed is everything, and that's what a 10mm gives you. So now let's talk about the guns that I own. Okay, so let's do that. Here, my favorite 1911. Trivia comes to the top of my head. Trivia, I have it written down here. Trivia. How many parts are in a 1911? Think? You can put in the comment below. It's a lot. 52 or so, 53, 51, 55. It's built, way back in the early 1900s. I love 1911s. Modern day gun. Glock. Here's 29, right? Glock. 34 moving parts. 34 moving parts, that's all. Makes it a lot simpler. So for you new gun owners, I do not recommend, it's up to you, a 1911 for your first 10mm. Because they like to run clean, sterilize clean, and they like to have at least 150 rounds run through them to break them in. So that's expensive. Take a Glock, take a Springfield, take a Walther. They don't make a 10mm. I'm going to heckle them. I don't think they make a 10mm. But you take a modern day gun, you just keep shooting it. You don't have to clean it like crazy. even my trainer said, and this is a real deal world-class, world champion trainer. He goes, they put a couple of drops of oil, you're good. Every 4,000 rounds, you can clean it. You're good. Same thing with the Glocks. These things are modern day guns. So I would recommend a modern day 10mm for a new gun owner. Now let's talk about recoil. Recoil. My wife, all 120 pounds of her. You've seen her shoot. She shot 10mm dozens of times. You just shoot it. Come on. It's not shooting a 500 Magnum. That I can see. Yeah, that's a real situation. That's a cannon. 10mm is not too much more than a 45 as far as recoil. Not too much more. And then when you learn your right grip, that's a separate video. I give 60% I'm right-handed and then 40% left-handed. And too many people go 90% because they're righty, and in their left hand they just used to kind of guide. And they're really shooting one-handed. So with a 10mm, you shoot 60-40, you hold that gun like a man or someone who knows what they're doing, and you're fine. Don't worry about the recoil. It's not going to hit you in the face. The bullet goes forward. What else do I have here? Here's a lower cost Iver Johnson 6-inch, please zoom in on this please, Eagle XL, okay, and I've done separate videos on all these guns. By the way, if you want to see, if you're new to the channel, or if you're not new, if you want to see all the 800 plus videos I've done, just Google any gun manufacturer, Iver Johnson, weapons education. 6 Sauer, weapons education. Smith & Wesson, weapons education. They all show up. And then you can learn a lot, because I put a lot of work into the channel over the last 11 years. Hundreds of videos. So on this, I put a nice long video on this gun. And it's an entry-level 1911 as far as cost. I think these are around, well, I hate to quote prices, because by the time I'm there, it might be up $500. I think they're about $800 now. But who knows? A year from now, it could be $1,400. But it's an entry-level quality. Iver Johnson's a quality 1911 for the money. But you do got to break it in. You got to spend the money on the ammo to break it in. So use the cheapo ammo. And as far as getting ammo, don't get all stressed about it. You know where to find it. You just, what do? You shop online for everything you buy in the world these days, right? That's what it's down to. Go to your gun shop, special order it. That's another way to do it. Okay, I spoke about my first gun, the Colt Delta Elite. I spoke about this Iver Johnson. This XD 10mm is what I carry now. This thing is a freaking tack driver. And here's something important. If you're still hanging in there with me, okay? Sometimes it aggravates me that people click off a video. They don't have the patience. You should learn. Just hang in there. Okay, what's the most important thing when you buy any gun? What part of the gun do you think is the most important part of the gun? Well, there's 2 important parts. Well, there's 3. But what about the barrel? To me, the barrel is kind of important. You don't want it melting. When you're looking for a barrel, you want stainless steel T-416. T-416 or something equivalent. So research that. Whatever gun you're buying, act like you just learned something. You go to a gun shop and say, what kind of barrel's in that gun for $1,000? Is the stainless steel equivalent to T-416? Barrel's one of the most expensive portions of the gun. The other portion is the trigger. When I shot the SIG 320, I have a 357 SIG 320. Oh gosh, why I love that pistol. I love the trigger about it. Now let me show you some quick and go carry systems here. Okay, this is Glock. I can get you these. They're about $100 each with shipping. You just got to call 954-804-4381. I'm just going to say it once. 954 twice. 804-4381. These are awesome bags. They're hard to get, but you can put your pistol in here. And I didn't mention the Glock 20, but I did mention the 29. And I love the Marksman by PowerTac for a light on here. I helped design this light with that owner. That was kind of fun. Glock 20, okay, with your aircraft carrier top at the side. I'm not so much into aesthetics when it comes to personal protection, but I gotta give the win from between the Glock and the new Springfield. I gotta give it to the Springfield XD. It's slimmer. It's got a better barrel. It's got a better trigger. But I'm not knocking Glock. Look at all the Glock stuff I have. So the Glock 20 is a good choice. I think I showed you the 29. Look at all these mags. And this is all like quadrupled up. What's in this bag here? Which gun is in here? This is 10 millimeter XD. Okay, this is how I carry the XD. Grab and go XD. But I actually carry this in a shoulder holster, and I keep all these mags ready to go somewhere close. That's my take. Is the 10 millimeter is an extremely powerful round, and during these days, the more power to you. Get the most powerful pistol you can get. I mean, a friend of mine, he goes, he doesn't know anything about guns. I just got this new 9 millimeter. Because the gun shop told me it's really powerful. Why don't you get a 45? What's that? So, and I respect that. But you need to know the different calibers and the speeds. So we go from 9 millimeter to 40 to 45 and to 10. And starting out at 380. Nothing wrong with any of them. I'm taking the highest powered one for self-defense these days. There you go. And this is the shoulder holster. I carry a bunch of my stuff in. Zoom in on that basket weave. This one's 6 years old. 6. The new basket weaves are much nicer than this even. 6 years old. All right. Love you guys. Here, look. I get to brush my hair. And I'll get it cut. Yeah. Couple days. Gotta have fun. Crazy world. We gotta arm ourselves to the tilt. We need everything possible to save our lives and our family. And I'm gonna keep coming at you with ideas. Today's idea is get a 10 millimeter. Don't be afraid of the recoil. And if you can get double tap ammo, great. Do it. 180 up to 230 grain hollow point. My name is Tom. Please thumb up the video and share this with your friends and ring the bell. I care about all of you American patriots. And that's what we are. We're a different breed of Americans now. And you know what I'm talking about. Take care, my friends.